This conference will now be recorded.
Is that what I get for being gone for the last 3 months?
We might have to debrief all the stuff.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna have to be caught up to speed, I think, rather than actually run the
They
meeting.
volunteered you for a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, last 4 pages are probably all my to-do list.
See what major, spend some money on the road.
Good news on that house.
Yep, good news on the bad house.
Burbach was supposed to be here tonight.
They're on there.
They're on.
It's awesome.
And
And we had asked to have, the whole committee.
They're here too.
They're here.
They're here.
Awesome.
I follow directions very well.
we get some updates and some hard numbers and what action we might have. Oh, and we approved that new sign.
Oh, yeah, the sign. At the park.
Oh, you did approve that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I hope so, because there was a check.
I think that's it for Major League,
That
so,
was the synopsis.
yeah.
Well, now you're gonna call the meeting to order?
So then we'll call the meeting to order.
Is it recording?
It's recording.
All right.
6:02. Miranda's agenda. I don't know that I haven't been told of any ads or anything.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for August 4th of 2025.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Well, yeah, everything you should know should be in the minutes there. Troy, everything you need to know, right?
Relying on me to read.
Yeah, the rock looks nice back there. Looks really nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm glad we could get that done.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written for July 7th.
Any motion for a second? That's,
I'll second.
have a motion and a second. All approved? Any opposed? Carried. Accounts payable.
You'll just notice that the big hitters are in the pool fund, which is the initial consulting pool plan for Burbach Aquatics, correct, Brian?
Yep.
And then there also are campground bills, and there are some of the things we've been working on, the basics, yeah.
Yeah, I think pool plans, and permit is in there too.
Yep.
Or permit application.
So that's a real nice big one for you guys to approve.
Jeff's been doing a good job of keeping track of the campground and making sure everything's lining up with, we're not double charged by accident or anything like that, so. And the Burbach stuff is all in contract.
Make a motion to approve, accounts payable, sorry.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Yeah, and I guess I should have asked to amend the agenda to put the budget first so we can get Kim going.
Oh, I can go first.
You what?
You could move it.
Yeah.
All right. You have your budget in front of you. This will be going to, you actually need to approve it if you would, because this is going to be going on the initial levy. So this will go in your levy, proposal levy amount of $78,187, which is up about a little bit from last year. Nothing too outstanding. We increased costs by 3% roughly. I'm trying to reflect some of the costs for workers' comp, et cetera. If you look at the pool budget, you see that we had an adjustment to workers' comp because they billed us for it and we didn't have a pool open last year. So it got adjusted off this year. So.
The increase is roughly 3,000. Where did you say the majority of that was coming from?
Most of that is just a 3% increase in most of the regular expenses down on your bottom. Some of them I didn't increase part-time summer help. We stayed steady at 17,000 for that for this year. Your operating supply, everything went up at just about 3%. That's just our standard rate we've been using this year to kind of pop things up. It may or may not keep in step with what's going on, but it's what we do.
Across the board, every department.
Mhm.
Do you think the campground water and sewer is going to remain the same? Because now the seasonal campers are on their own meter, correct? Or
Not
is
yet.
that just for electric?
They aren't on their own meter yet for water. Uh-uh.
I don't know. Do we meter the water or just electric?
No, I think they redid the vault, and I think there's a different meter in there at this point. I'd have to ask Ronnie when it's got set up.
Might have a little bit coming in there, not that it's a lot, but
Yeah.
hopefully a makeup there.
Still doing the, even the increase on the pool levy, because we're gonna need that. Once we get the pool built, the new one, we're gonna need the operating right away, so we don't wanna be behind on that.
Can we impose that levy right away? We talked about that once before too,
What levy?
For the bond.
for the bonding.
Not yet.
If the bond, the levy of the bonding always, it starts to get paid for a year after issuance.
Okay.
So if we issue at the end of this year, we'll have a bond payment sometime next year.
Yeah.
Probably July. That's kind of the normal payments are, actually, the due dates are February and August, but normally you're billed January, July. And that won't come out of your budget. That will be strictly in its own bond fund budget. So that will be approved. Once council approves a bond, that'll go to council's responsibility to act on.
Any further questions or discussion on the budget? I'll look for a motion to approve.
Yeah, I would make a motion to approve the proposed 2026 budget.
Got a motion, looking for a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Kim.
You are welcome. All right, have a nice evening, guys.
You bet.
Appreciate the explanations. Thank you.
Well, anytime, call if you guys ever have questions.
Yep.
So I'll move back down to unfinished business since there's no public comment. And we'll start with the pool update.
All right, should we start with the pool committee, or do you wanna go with Jordan first so he can, hear from the pool committee first?
Sure.
Keep you waiting a little longer, Jordan, that's okay, just a few minutes.
No worries.
You have questions for them?
Yeah. Where are we at fundraising and kind of specifically, who have we targeted? And what are the plans for further targeting for fundraising?
It's mostly been the businesses that have been targeted. And I don't know if there's further. I would honestly say a lot of our fundraising efforts have been a little bit exhausted over the last few months. The people that want to give have given, the ones that, and I'm hopeful that once they see some action or some progress, that maybe they'll start donating again. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to make a donation, but we're waiting. We don't know what we're going to do yet. So we have some on the fence that way. We're still trying to target some of our bigger ones. We got like Paul Peterman working, he went Quick Trip, gave a good donation, and then he went back and got an even better donation. So we're trying to work with some of those angles, and then we got a couple other fundraising ideas in the works for maybe around Christmas or the next Downing Day thing and all that. But as of right now, it's been pretty quiet as far as the fundraising world goes.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Just
Just
your best guess.
my best guess, I think people it's been a couple years with no pool and they're just kind of like, hey, we approved the tax levy, we've already given, we went to the pancake breakfast, we did this, and now they just want a pool. They just think that that's all it takes.
Right.
So unfortunately, it's a big number to fundraise,
Absolutely.
We don't have a big McNelius or anything to just drop us $500,000. I mean, we've had some great ones like the telephone company giving $100,000, but when you're looking at fundraising $1.6 million, you have to have a pancake breakfast every year or every week for like 2 years,
Right.
And
So
those nickel and dime fundraisers aren't going to get you.
No, they help, and I do think things like our bricks that we're going to try to build the patio, once the pool is maybe under construction and they see where the patio, then people are going to jump on board and want to be part of that.
Right.
And then if you buy a brick for $100 and, kind of like Kids Kingdom,
Right.
from what I hear, though, way back then, that raised $100,000 just buying a board.
Right.
So maybe that fundraiser will kick into gear once we have some action being taken. But right now, I mean, just being a business person within the community, I think a lot of people are like, well, this is frustrating. What happened to our pool?
And we're getting some of the same
Yeah.
feedback from people.
Exactly.
And I don't know how to answer
Same
the
thing.
questions.
We don't
Right.
either.
Yeah.
We don't either because,
Right.
they're saying we voted to raise our taxes and now you're knocking on our door and asking for even more money.
More money, right.
So,
And pointedly, I've had people say, why didn't we bond for the whole thing and just be done
Exactly.
with it?
and
Yeah.
that is one of the things we've talked about, we didn't bond enough, maybe. We hoped that we could fundraise or get a grant, but unfortunately that fell short.
Right.
So maybe at the next election or whatever that is, that we don't want to hold a special election that would require payment for another thing, but maybe we could ask like, hey, we didn't bond enough. Could we maybe extend it from 20 years to 25 to help pay for it? I don't know.
Those are all great questions. I
Yeah.
don't know the answer.
Well, several things from my standpoint. We publicized it a lot, with the park board, how this was going to work as far as, hey, this is going to require donations too. What we didn't want was to run a referendum and have it fail and then have to wait and another $400,000 later, try and do it again. So we picked a number that worked for the city budget and keeping the roads going and all of that. That's why we did all that capital planning. I don't know if you were all on when I first came on in 2020, it was, we need a number now. We need a number now, Fred. I'm like, I can't give you a number now.
Right.
And so we went through the whole capital planning process and came up with, well, we can, if we go with $300,000 and then people have some donations, say, then the people that really want it are gonna help step up and fund it. So now it passed, overwhelmingly. So then, we should have done, 3.5 million or 4 million. It might not have passed then though, and then we'd be sitting right here with nothing. We wouldn't be anywhere then. But we are where we're at now, and we've raised a little over $600,000, mostly businesses, mostly bigger donations. We do have a single anonymous citizen that donated $25,000. So that's one of the bigger ones. But citizens in general, 60,000 or less, maybe. I think what we need to do is regain the excitement. Everything just stagnated, and we don't even have pool committee meetings anymore.
Right.
For the most part. So everything kind of stagnated. So what we're looking at doing is getting the demo going. So, and Jordan's working on that package right now, a demo package. I spoke with our city attorney and said, hey, can we split the demo out and do that as quotes, get, a few quotes to do the demo so we can get that going right now. So there's a big hole in the ground and a big sign up there with the future pool facing towards the park during Covered Bridge Festival, hoping to generate some more excitement that, hey, this is going to happen. Now, again,
And a
continue to
thermometer,
fundraise.
maybe even on funds raised.
What's that?
The thermometer on how much
Yeah.
we've raised
Sure.
out there as well.
Yep, but I think communication is a big thing, and I don't think a lot of the citizens know, they just think this is happening because they haven't heard much. We haven't had articles in the paper, we haven't, so really we haven't done much of anything, and that needs to crank up, and we're talking, Peterman's writing a article right now, and then we'll review that and get that in the paper next week.
Because I think we need to remember about advertising and informing people that the people who have the money are not the people that are on social media, usually. The deep pockets are more the ones that are going to be reading the newspaper, maybe even reading that Goodhue County magazine that comes out monthly, that Today magazine.
That's a good idea.
Because, they're the ones with the disbursements at the end of the year that they have to do something with for tax purposes. And it's not mom and dad that have got 4 and 5 kids at home that are trying to figure out, how am I going to pay for school supplies this year with the increased costs and everything?
And I think we weren't ready to do that last year. It was just getting going. And so we didn't have the resources to get those end of the year tax for all of those people.
Yep.
This year, we are maybe better equipped
Yeah.
to do something like that.
So I think we got to hit
And
everybody.
the committee's done a great job. I don't mean to, it just, we all kind of stagnated because we got to where we got to and we're like, okay, now what?
$600,000 richer,
So
but.
once it gets going again, we're gonna have a presence at the fair, National Night Out, and Covered Bridge Festival. Covered Bridge Festival be a little more elaborate, maybe. I think probably the games might have to wait till then.
Yeah.
Games will have to wait.
We could maybe give some of those ducks away
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
couple of, at the fair.
Yeah, and at the fair, it might just be informational only, because that's all we'll have,
Yep,
I'm
and that-
hoping.
We just set that up. That's why I'm dressed like this.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So that one's set up. National Night Out will be set up tomorrow. Popcorn. We're gonna be serving popcorn out of the booth, so that'll bring a lot of people over. And I've got talking points typed up, which basically, this is where we are, how we got here, and all of that. But I think what needs to happen is we need to get the word back out there, like you said. And Today Magazine is a great place, but citizens are gonna need to understand or re-understand that the bonding was just part of it. We need to, the businesses have given for the most part. We're still working on Red Wing Shoe, Treasure Island. I can't remember, there's some that we're hoping are,
How about that Arctic place out on the highway?
it's hard to talk to anybody out there. If you can talk to somebody out there, you're doing well, but no. So yeah, and DFA is still, we're still in talks with them. I've got, one of the committee members working with all those big ones. So who knows if there's another, if we can average 25,000 each from each one of those, that's gonna lop off another 150,000. I don't know if we're gonna have more money from the pool operating. We're gonna squeeze that as much as we can when the time comes and hopefully put another 100 in. But we're whittling away at some of that too right now for things, fees and things like that. We're starting to spend money. Yeah, but I think just the education, even down to, we've got 4,000 citizens, it would be this much per citizen. Now, some of those are babies and kids, that's not reasonable, but, and if half of the citizens, if 2,000 citizens donated, right now it'd be $500 each. But hopefully get it lower than that and then publicize that. That's each citizen, yeah. So like, in my house, well, there's 4 of us right there, so that'd be $2,000 out of my house. But just to give a scale of it, that, hey, this is doable. Because some people can give more, some people can, right now we're at about $15 to $18, I think by my calculations, per citizen, if you divide it out, plus taxes, they absolutely, I pay the taxes, so I understand too. But it was well publicized that this was part of the funding for the pool. So for anybody to say, now you're at my door looking for money, well, yeah, that was all part of it. Otherwise, we would have bonded for the whole thing.
Yeah, but it may have been well publicized, but I don't think people are understanding
They don't
that.
remember.
Yeah.
And they just don't remember.
Yeah.
You can't grasp what $1.6 million is. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too, because I did a lot of research from other communities. Dodge Center raised that
Dodge Center
4
has
months.
McNeely,
Other
yeah.
communities, yeah, and I don't know how much they made up of it though.
Yeah.
Their marketing was, and I don't know if I think they hired someone to help them market, but they went into these bigger businesses and said, hey, we need $500,000. And then, well, I don't know if we can do that. Well, can you do 400? And they got a lot bigger donations that way, which
And
we didn't do. We kind of went on our own with, with some guidance from Burbach, but we were, hindsight again.
It's also a different
Hindsight
time.
on the bonding.
Lots of
hindsight on this.
nonprofits are hurting right now, and so people are not wanting to give any money elsewhere. So
It's
I
not-
think we're up against that too.
Yeah, it's not for lack of trying from the committee, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Nonprofit is also a key point as well, because most of the really large places where you can go and get donations, Twins organization, thing like that, Target, Sam's, all the big businesses we hit, you instantly get shut down because you don't have a 501c3. So they'll only donate to a 501c3 because that's just part of their contribution committee. They have to donate to a nonprofit.
Even though with the resolution, we're obviously, we're government, so I don't understand that completely, but we've tried many different places to
Don't
try
we
to
have to
use
have a-
their 501c3 and nobody will do it.
If we have a 501c3, if we have a tax deferred number, we can get a lot more donations.
Through it, it's expensive and time consuming
And
for
you
the
have to have a
committee
whole
to do
committee
that.
and all the things.
Right.
So it's
It
not
does take a
reasonable, but we
while
need
to
to-
set it up, yeah.
We need to have someone kind of sponsor that for us and run it through their 501.
We did look into that, but yeah, it's
Right.
not worth our time.
And we checked with like the Lions and the
I think we did.
Zimbrota Community Trust.
We
and
did.
all of those different things, and they all kind of went, well, we can do our one-time donation, but we can't
Yeah.
funnel funds for you.
Because
you know?
there are things that need to be done there. I tried Smith, and they haven't gotten back to me. I guess they're not interested either. But Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation, I was told that they might, but.
And we never did get any type of grant, right? There's no grants, or does
Grant, we
it?
have, I can't remember what grant. I think we've gotten a grant. We got turned down for the Taylor Family Farms one. We've got a T-Mobile one still out there, I think. There's a one just coming up that it's just $10,000. You have to match 2,500, but we're gonna try it for the pool. Actually, I think we'll do two of them. One of them will be for the Frisbee golf, to try and finish that off, because they funded a Frisbee golf course last year with this grant. And so we'll put that one in, but we'll put the pool one in too. Some committees are submitting 4 of them. Kurt Meister's working on that, and his CETA colleagues are submitting a bunch of them from all over the area, but. So, yeah.
I also think it might be good to have talking points, because I've heard people say, Pine Island can build that big pool down there and they're not having to tax the people.
Oh geez, they did.
Well,
They ran a bond issue down there.
and I had it explained to me that we pay for our roads here. We don't go to the people in town for.
Yep. We don't assess those, right?
But they do in Pine Island.
They do.
So that's why it's so much flusher in Pine Island.
Well, among other things, they have an 84 or 88% tax rate,
Mhm.
meaning they're taxing 88% of what they could tax. Right now, we're at 49%. So we can do all that stuff.
I think that needs to be talked about
And
more.
we do every tax season, we talk about that for sure, but we can include that in the article too. I don't know how to, I hate to go, I don't want to put other towns in there because
Well-
they all know what their tax rate is, but that is the issue. So when
You could
we
just say that ours is
have a very low tax.
comparatively low too.
Well, and when we did the capital study, both of the ones that we had in for interviews, they said you can't sustain with your tax rate at this level. You need to start raising your tax rate to be able to get everything done you need to get done.
Because I think that people need to know that it's been kind of nice.
And the other thing is Pine Island sold land at Prairie Island for $1.8 million or whatever $1 million it was. And so they had that little slush fund there too. So that's why they were able to do the pickleball courts, whatever else they did with that money. So yeah, there's all kinds of factors, but we are working on selling land right now. Actually, the EDA is, there's 2 lots out in the business park
Not to the data center.
that we're working on selling. But that money goes back into the EDA, so.
I got a question. So what happens if we don't make it?
Well, so the council is facing a decision on if we hold off and try and fundraise more. Burbach is telling me 10% inflation factor. So that is not feasible because then the pool won't happen at all, ever. Or let's get the pool going and keep fundraising. We have options. We talked to Ehlers, our financial advisor, and one option would be to do an abatement of the area, a tax abatement of the area around the pool out there. And those taxes would go towards a loan, more bond, or, not a, yeah, be more bonding, it'd be a loan, basically. But it goes on the levy. Or an intra-fund loan, which is the preferred method. Our water fund, we've already talked about this, we could pull, we don't want to pull any more than 700,000. So we need to fundraise to get to that point and with in-kind donations. But we could do an intra-fund loan for 10 years or 15 years. But then we've got debt service because we're paying ourselves back. We pay a couple of percent interest in all likelihood. We wouldn't have to pay any interest back, but, and that will not hinder any of the water projects or things that we need to do. We're still able to finish the water meter project and everything we've got going. It won't cause a problem. But basically, we'll be taking a loan for ourselves is what it would amount to. But again, then you have a loan payment and that goes on the levy. 700,000 would be 2 to 3% on the levy, but in 2027. In 2026 right now, we're already looking at 14.35%, partly because of the $3 million of bonding, which is like 4%. And then we've got an FTE request to replace the police officer that we didn't bring back when the county thing came up and all of that. So that is in there, and that's a few percent too, plus capital equipment, all the stuff that we need to do. So we're at 14.35 and the council is okay with that so far for a preliminary. We can't add any more to that. There's no way we can go above that. But yeah, we would wait till the end of the project and then do an inter-fund loan to finish it out. Now, this is all assuming that the bids come back okay. If the bids come back out of whack, then it's all back, back to where we started. Then it's definitely going for more bonding if we're ever going to do it. So a lot of factors to consider, but I'm in favor of let's get it going because we have another $400 and some thousand.
So could you ask for more money after you borrow the money and use that to pay it back?
Sure. Yeah, but in all likelihood, we put 2% on a levy in 2027. We're going to have growth between now and then. They won't even feel that. 2% is 2.5%. I think is typically a wash around here. Pine Island grow more than that. And they could like 6%. So if they levied 9%, they'd only feel 3% of that. So 2.5% wouldn't even be felt really. But it's more. It is. And there's the philosophical, hey, we bonded, the citizen said, yeah, spend this much. And then now we're putting more on there without asking them. But it's legal, and I think the greater evil would be to not have the pool.
Right.
I think more people would be upset to not have the pool.
We have to, yeah.
So I'm encouraging the council to let's get this going and we'll figure that out as we go. Who knows, maybe a big donor will come.
So the bids, are they going to go to local companies? So
Yeah, we'll let Jordan talk about the bids too. If you guys want to move on to Jordan and look at the plans.
Absolutely.
You guys might as well come up to the table now because we're going to put plans up there. I'll have to make you presenter, Jordan.
Okay.
Thanks for waiting. All right, you should have control now.
Okay, let me pick my screen. Okay, you guys should be seeing the title sheet here.
Yeah.
Okay. And to answer your last question, yeah, we typically would prefer to work with local companies, either that or whoever's the most experienced in the area. I mean, being local to Rochester, there's definitely a wide variety of options, but the more word we can spread to the contractors, the better, local and not so local. So Let's see.
Let me just say one thing before you get going. So we hadn't brought a whole lot back because we were just developing the pool that the park board approved. And Troy has been on there with us as well on most of the meetings. So sorry for not coming back more often. But, we were just kind of going with what was approved. Some of the canopies might have moved around a little bit, but otherwise it is the pool that was approved with the exception of a few changes inside based on lifeguards.
Yeah. Yep.
Old lifeguards saying, hey, this won't work, this will work better. So there are a few changes inside the building but you never really had any walls or anything. You had more of a concept back then. So this will be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, like Brian said, it was more logistical things that we were running into as we were putting the plans together that, stemmed some or the little changes that were made. And we just had questions along the way while putting these plans together that, needed answering pretty swiftly. Didn't change, the overall scope of the project. It should look fairly similar to the original concept, or exactly similar, just with a few details. So here we have the title page. I'll just go page by page. If you guys have any questions or want to stop me, just let me know. There's 80 pages, so I'll just give a brief description of each page. This is the title legend. This is the site soil boring map. As some of you might know, we added 6 additional borings to further define the bedrock that you have on site, which is fairly shallow. When working with the structural engineer, he wanted to be more confident with where that profile was, because that was going to determine his foundation design of the pool. So after those 6 borings, he felt confident enough to move along with what he calls flowable fill. Half the pool is going to be essentially within the bedrock, and then half the pool has to address the poor soils. So we're removing the poor soils where needed, and then coming back with what's called flowable fill. I'll point that out as we go. This is the stormwater prevention plan. There's 3 pages, so it has a lot to do with site management during construction. This is the demolition plan, site demolition plan. As Brian said earlier, we are taking majority, if not all, except for a few items, and separating them out into that separate project to try to hopefully get the ball rolling there. So that would be removing the pool vessel. There's opportunity to leave a remainder of some of the section of the existing pool, and then what they would do is crack and seat that, with the objective of some cost saving efforts there. So removal of the pool vessel, removal of the pool deck. During the demo project, we would maintain the site fencing, remove the site buildings, and then come in with temporary fencing until the larger project begins. So yeah, we have all the demo items that are to be salvaged and maintained are these benches. The lights we're going to maintain and salvage. Obviously the rock climbing wall, and there's a bike rack that we have over there. The vending machines we also have pointed out on the electrical demo. So yeah. The laptop's a little finicky. So this is the excavation plan. It just lays out the layback from the new pool excavation, where the bedrock is. Obviously, you don't have to pull that back as much. It's much more stiff, and you don't have to worry about shoring or anything. So these deeper elevations, the 1 foot increments increases rapidly, and then we got the remainder of the excavation. And I think this still needs to be updated to represent the flowable fill excavation. So, and then this is the site plan. We'll go over this a little bit. So hopefully this is looking very similar to where we left it. One, I think, area, Brian, that we kind of decided is to add on is this grass area. That area, possibly being used for a future slide. And then, also a good place to locate either that patio you guys were speaking of with the bricks. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a considerable discussion on that because it's actually a little less fence, I think, than going around making the L, so.
Yep, it's the same amount of deck, just more fence, or less fence.
Yeah, place
more
they can,
grass area.
they're sit in the grass, whatever. Plus, there's more room for the bigger slide in the future.
Yeah, and here are the shade structures that Brian was talking about. We located these two positioned where they are currently.
One of the big one over by the zero depth entry, so parents can be over there.
Parents can sit, yep.
And we did make the pool. What did we do? How do we fit that climbing wall in there with the slide? I can't remember. We didn't make the pool bigger. We did something though, or did we?
I recall that. So the length remained the same to maintain the 25-yard lap swimming. The slope might have been altered on the deep end transition into the deep end, but the depth requirements had to be kind of managed with the climbing wall, and then the new deck slide also has, I believe, like a 4.5 foot deck or depth requirement. So the positioning of those are pretty much locked into place, just based on the manufacturer requirements for depth. Let's see, we got a top slide, Brian, and some, I think the long leg water features. We'll get to that page soon, but the two zero depth amenities that we have added. We'll get to the bathhouse a little later, but there's a general layout of it.
So largely the same pool that was approved all the way along, just a little bit more details, a little change to get the climbing wall in there correctly. But we had, pretty good amenities to start off with.
This is just the site construction limits, temporary fence and silt fence.
Let me talk one more thing on that. So the future vision for a big slide over in that plunge pool over there, over in that area, we talked about whether or not we want the infrastructure in place for that, and we decided that because there's a trench there, there's a vault. I can't remember what all the terminology was, but we said we want to have that in place so we can put, rather than digging it all up, we can put a big slide in there in the future. So that's a talking point you can use too.
So then we wouldn't want to put the bricks there.
No, out farther they could be, but the slide won't take up that whole area.
Okay.
No, the foundations will stay pretty local to this small area. The grass area will still be available. From what I understand, that slide is a couple years down the road, but we will have the infrastructure in place, and I'll stop when we get to those pipe plans and vault plans. But it'll save construction down the line if that ever comes across. You want to dig out, this brand new pool deck you got in, or cut a hole into the foundation of your bathhouse. That'll all be set in place.
Right, and the additional cost to do it right now was minimal compared to what it would be later. So, when we're looking at building this within a certain budget, that part isn't going to blow it up anyway.
So this is the deck plan, the control joints we lay out for the contractor, and then there's expansion joints, the thicker lines. And then this is the site elevation plan, gives all the deck slopes. building elevations, floor elevations, dimension plans as well. That's the culvert that I'll point out here in a sec, and then the manhole elevations. This is the site material plan, just lays out the reseeding and site material. Okay, take some time going over this. These are a couple section views that we have for the pool. This one being, I'm gonna go through them. So the bottom one here is going through this 0 depth. So that'd be this line 4. This section is going through the deep end and then into your existing pool. And then the other 2 are going through the bathhouse and then through the pool. So we'll start at the bottom, your 0 depth. And your 0 depth, after reviewing all the site borings, the 0 depth area is actually where you have the deepest bedrock that we found. So all that poor existing soil that's expansive and can lead to, settlement issues. It's really frost sensitive soil. The city should have the geotechnical report available, but they recommended to address those soils, and then the structural engineer came in with the foundation design for the pool. So that's this flowable fill shown here. We have the under drainage layer of clean rock, and then 5-foot enveloping the entire pool all the way around. So here you can see your deep end is within the bedrock. We still maintain that drainage. And then this is a transition point where we move into the flowable fill. And this is showing the existing pool if it were to remain. This section view kind of shows you some of the manholes and surge tanks. This is the backwash tank, surge tank. This is manhole for winterization, and then that's where we're stubbing off the future water slide piping. And then this manhole is for the 0 depth winterization. Hopefully the pipe plan will kind of make more sense here in a sec. A couple details for site fencing, and then ADA parking stall. This is flat work details for concrete and asphalt. Let's see, what is this? Site grading. So that'll be the final site grades. And this is the preliminary structural sheet that we have received from Albertson. We didn't show you this last time, Brian, or last Wednesday, but these are probably 75%. We're still waiting on the 99%, hopefully here in a week and a half. He's expecting the 99% completed on August 15th, and then the following day we'll go over our review and then have those finalized. And I should mention, these are the plans that have been submitted to the state for the review, except for the structural plans. These are just for your knowledge, I guess. The state, they just really want to review the pool, the fluid process piping, the deck plans, and the bathhouse. So that should all be available, and we'll get feedback on that hopefully soon, and then move along with the construction permit. So yeah, these are all the structural sheets, structural design of the bathhouse, pool, and here's that flowable fill. So you can kind of see the area that needs to be addressed. This is the roof structural frame plan, foundation details, and then pool rebar design and concrete, more pool structural details.
What kind of rebar do they use do they use the epoxy coated rebar in pools, or is it just regular?
So no, it's all bare rebar. In conditions where we have, you know, the likelihood of water coming in contact. So you get this joint. There's no, let's just say this is an active water stop joint here, where we place the floor and then the wall. But when we place in the stairs, we want to lock that into the structure, and there's a high likelihood of water reaching this rebar piece here. So that's where we have epoxy coated rebars. Otherwise, everything should be maintained there. And then like this bar here, this dowel would be epoxy painted 3 inches on each side, just to do a little bit of corrosion resistance.
It's all trying to avoid that deterioration over the years.
Yeah. I can kind of go over, this is your expansion joint detail. This is Burbox design that we've used for years. You'll notice we put the water stop on top of the rebar dowels that are connecting the two sections. So what that does is eliminates any water from coming in contact with, you know, this dowel bar here, keeping everything dry. And then we have the 2-inch and 3-inch clearance to maintain that clearance, so there is no possibility of burning through and then, you know, leading to additional corrosion.
You can probably cruise through the structural drawings.
Yeah.
You may get to the floor plan of the bathhouse.
Sure. So yeah, there's some structural roofing framing. We did work with Albertson to put in a access way within your structural within your frames. So you notice there's a 2'6" gap or 3'4" gap here. That way you can access all your exhaust fans in the attic.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're trying to do with this building is make it easy to access all those things that are going to need to be worked on in the future, including the piping. Like they're buried in the block walls now. They will not be in this building.
Yeah, everything, you're going to have access to everything for maintenance in the future with this design. This pool details, some more structural details. And then we get into some swimming pool plans. So this is back to Burbox plans. You got your pool, your deep manhole. For winterization, that's this box here. Pool dimensions. This is your deck drainage plan. So you got when your drains all connected, they are draining to grade at this culvert here. And then, let's see. So the force main for dewatering the pool is also going to that culvert as well. That's this line, this 4-inch force main.
That'll extend out in that yard. Nothing out there, but.
Yeah, I don't believe you have a storm sewer available within or nearby the site. So I think that's the main reason for going to grade. If I recall the design decision there. pool details, gutter details, let's see, yeah, there's more pool details. Pool details. There's that culvert, comes out to a concrete culvert and then some riprap. Pool details, and then we can get into the bathhouse. So we got the main lobby, room 101, the service counter with ADA counter and walk-up height counter, the attendant room, which we located on poolside for patron observation, as that's probably where your staff are going to be stationed most of the time. We got some lockers per request of lifeguard. Can't recall her name, Brian.
Bretta.
Okay. Oh, that was Bretta's idea?
Yep. Yep. And we did change the lobby around a little bit from the original plan too. So this works. Some of the comments were, hey, we need direct access to the pool from the attendant room. And I think, are we half glass in that door, or we have a light?
Yeah, there is a viewable, let's see, door 102. Maybe if I'll come back real shortly here.
Because that was a discussion too, because they want to be able to see out there. If something happens, plus they switch. They need to, whatever seconds they use to switch.
Yeah, here's that door here, 102. You can see that viewing window.
We contemplated one of those. What do we call it, Troy?
Like a half door.
We decided on the glass.
Okay. Yep. Here's that ladder access. We have it in the mechanical room here. So yeah, we'll see the framework for that as well coming up. Here's the mechanical chase, as Brian said. Everything is accessible. All your your pipe stubs and really anything you can think of should be accessible. Nothing's hidden within the CMU itself, except for maybe some electrical raceways, but all your plumbing should be available for maintenance. Your men's and women's side, got your code required amount of fixtures, 88 stalls for your toilets and showers. And then mechanical space here with your separation of pH and chlorine should maintain the condition of your equipment for a long time. So if you're ever wondering why we separate it, it's just for additional corrosion resistance, protect your equipment. We got a door for maintenance access from the front, and then poolside, we have the larger door. And then the electrical equipment is also separated from, the harsh environments within the mechanical space.
Built to last. Yeah, the general flow then, of course, you enter in at the top there and then go through your respective locker room and then out the side.
Yep.
So when they are at the pool, then they can go in and out of the locker rooms and not be observed from the attendant side?
I guess I'm not following. I'm sorry.
So you'll have kids going in and out of the locker rooms from the pool without the attendants at the desk knowing that there are kids back there?
They should be all funneled through the attendant. This is a open window, admissions window, so everyone coming into the pool is being observed by the attendant.
Once they're in the pool, then they have free access in and out of the toilet areas without a lifeguard or an attendant knowing that they've gone in.
I can go through the
Okay.
There's no visual, but theoretically there'd be a lifeguard out on the deck.
Yeah.
So they go around the end of the building. They don't go through the attendant office.
Correct.
And then where is the storage for cleaning supplies for the bathrooms and the toilet paper and stuff like that? Is that in that area in between the bathrooms?
Yep, the mechanical space or chase can be used as storage. You can do your wall hung broom hangers, small shelves. We also left some space within the mechanical area for the addition of shelves in the future. Mechanical space should be able to maintain or store, tools, whatever maintenance might need. In the mechanical chase, we got a mop sink. Be a good place to store your cleaning chemicals.
And we had a whole lot of ex-lifeguard.
Good
Input.
correction.
So there's always comments that you're asking to us.
Mhm.
Call Brett old.
So any questions on the layout?
No, all
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, and then here's that attic space. So you'll have a ceiling above your bathhouse areas, your attendant, like your electrical space, and then you'll have a separation between your mechanical space and bathhouse area, if you label it that. And then this is where your ladder access is to the attic. And these are all your exhaust fans and ducting for everything. And that's your walkway. There's some step over areas, but that's a lot better than elevating the floor and then having what you call a headbanger. So that's how you navigate the walkway. Here are some site views or elevation views.
These are just exposed block. We didn't figure in painting, did we? Jordan, I don't think we had painting as part of the.
Oh, no, yeah, that just satin coating.
Yeah, so it's a smooth
Smooth.
face.
Mhm.
Doors going in and out of the locker rooms, are those like big exterior doors or are they open doorways? Inside the pool, you know what I mean?
The
To go into
bathhouse
the locker
doors.
room? Yeah, right there.
Yeah, they can be, I don't know if we have an elevation view, but they can be propped open because we have sight lines accounted for. So if they want to be left open, they can.
There are doors.
Yeah.
So they can be secured at night.
Yes.
You know, if they were put
But the
right
toilets
next
are
to that
private,
other
the showers
door,
are private.
No, yeah.
then they wouldn't even need doors on
Yeah,
that.
they're not.
And then you'd have sight view from that. Wouldn't you?
It doesn't, even if you stand at the doorway, you're not gonna see someone sitting on the toilet or taking a shower supposedly.
No, yeah, that's all accounted for. Nothing should be within sight line.
Well, that happens sometimes.
It does
Think
happen, I
about
know.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had that at the Southeast Services Cooperative.
And here's your front entrance counter with your ADA countertop.
Is there a baby changing station?
Yeah, they are this 12 right here.
Okay.
They put them in the men's side now too.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never could find one before, for years.
They forgot to do that at the state theater.
Oh,
They did. Mhm.
Was any thought given to put, any surveillance cameras on anything?
I think the assumption was if you wanted to add those in the future, with, remote cameras, a full system would be, it could be done, but, there's cheaper options that are coming out and you can essentially do the same thing, but.
yeah, most of our questioning along the way was it included in the original 4.626 million? Because we can't go over that. And anything else we'll have to move into later. We use a Verkada camera system.
Yep.
here, which, all, we want to keep with that. They're expensive, but they all interface.
Yep.
I can pull up a whole screen of all of them. I can have them up, in the police department. They all interface and they're wonderful, but they're expensive. So as we move into more cameras in the future, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Just from a risk standpoint alone, they're worth their weight in gold.
Yes.
Yeah. Electrically, everything should be available. We have excess outlets, everything. It's just a matter of the city adding up those to the facility down the line. So to answer your question, just not involved with this project.
The other thing was lighting for night swimming,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not part of this project either.
No, that unless there was absolute, need for programming for night swimming, you're doing it every night or you have big events, we find night lighting not always cost effective or.
So are we talking about lighting in the pool itself or lighting around the pool?
So yeah, those are two options you can do to achieve the, lumens into the pool to allow for night swimming. That would be measured and then approved by your reviewer. So to do that, it's quite a expense, especially if you're doing it all overhead, which we prefer to do because in-pool lighting tends to lead to issues sooner than later. So I think we'll have the reinstallation of the existing lighting. I don't believe that will be compliant enough to allow for night swimming, but you should be returned with what you have existing.
It'll be enough for security lighting. It'll be lit up enough for you.
Yep.
Drive by and see if somebody jumped the fence.
There's some section views. Let's see. This fixture details.
Other decisions were manual knobs rather than the electronic ones, things like that. Again, a lot of it, well, what's cheaper?
But we haven't bid this out yet, correct?
Right.
So we could still get lighting.
Sure.
Yeah, that almost guarantee an additional submission back to the state because that's something they definitely review.
Yeah.
If the bids come in far enough under, then we can add. So make that happen, Jordan.
Because,
Just kidding.
the pool in Water Bingo is gonna last no more than another year.
Right.
And every single day in the morning aerobic sessions alone, there are 20 to 25 women in that pool every single morning. And they each paid $120 for,
In the dark?
no, at 8:15.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then they have the aerobics in the evening also. And so there's just something like a pool party.
Except the lights are on,
Yep,
right?
right.
Or are you just
Save
thinking
money
of pools
for
earlier?
For those, yeah.
And they rent out for pool parties too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Parties out there now with the site lighting, the same lighting we're gonna have for this.
and they just have to be out of the water before sundown then, right?
So it's gotta be standard, correct? The old.
All that,
I was just asking, would the lighting still be compliant to run a pool party, or would it make it so that you wouldn't be able to be open after like 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I think it's just all dependent on sundown.
Oh, so you wouldn't be able to have like an evening pool party?
Mm-hmm.
And especially since it's a new pool.
They would want that. And
Yeah.
that's where your like bigger money is gonna be, correct?
Correct, yeah. So
And
let's,
that's just another avenue of income for you.
Evening aerobics and the evening pool parties.
And you think that would be to put the, no, ballpark, Jordan, to put lighting in to allow for evening things?
Swimming, because people lap swimming too.
We didn't have it, did we? No.
Talking 10 grand or 5 grand or 20 grand?
Oh, it's more than that. Brand new poles and fixtures, and then the timing system. I think you're well over 100.
So there you go. How many pool parties that night are gonna take to generate
Hire
100
a
grand?
local electrician to put up a couple.
Yeah, I
what?
know,
mean,
yeah.
what, $100,000?
That's something that we can move into later. We just can't add 100 grand to this project. I don't think, unless the bids come back really low. Like you
Are
said.
you going to work with local contractors?
Yeah, I mean, we can reach out to any contractors you guys have in the area. Obviously, we'll reach out to contractors we've worked with in the past as well on past projects. But
When are we ready to start sending these out for bids?
once we get the full structural plans back, we should be able to, begin to advertise for bid, and then that process takes a week, and then pre-bids, and then bid opening. There's a time frame for that. So I think we had, hopefully in September, be close to looking at some bids.
Because you said the plans will be back August 15th, right?
Yeah, they should be available to go out to bid. Obviously, if the state takes their time getting back to us, there might be some additional addendums that need to be administered to address some items. But we've gone out to bid prior to receiving the construction permit. Obviously, you can't start the project till we get the construction permit. But we can start the bid process in the meantime. We just want a full set of plans to be able to provide to the contractors, so they know what they're bidding on.
Okay. And then when is the deconstruction going to start?
Hopefully this month. I mean, I have the project manual started, about to be finished, with the change over to the proposal, the proposal method, as opposed to public bidding. As we learned, if a project's under 175, we can take it to proposals. So that took a little bit to convert the the specs and manual to match that. So hopefully soon.
Okay.
And we have separated the plans that apply to the demolition project, so that we also provided.
We have to have an assessment for asbestos, hazardous materials too. And I've already reached out to Brown Intertech, and I haven't heard back. Actually, I heard back once, but I haven't heard anything since. But anyway, we'll get that rolling ahead of time here too.
Yeah.
I can just award that. We've used them. They did did they do the borings for us? No, who did the borings? Was that Brown?
That was Chosen Valley.
Well, that was Chosen Valley. Oh, I'll reach out to Chosen Valley too.
And I'm not sure if they'll do materials testing or for hazardous materials, but definitely be worth looking into.
Okay.
Who did we use for our other bath structures? Like the one we demoed in the middle of the park and the one that's going down at the camp, or who inspected those?
We use city staff for that. Those are so small. This is a different animal because you have the all the pipes in the mechanical building and all that. Those bathrooms that we demoed were all exposed and nothing to them.
Yeah.
So
If I may, the reason behind going and getting the testing before the demolition project is if we find there's nothing, then we can provide that with the deconstruction documents, and the contractors will know, they don't have to add a certain amount for the hazardous material disposal. If we don't have it, they're going to add on
We got
to beef up their amount.
excavator, this, that.
So we have to have that hazardous
Scale
waste
is a little
assessment done.
different, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll speed things up too, once the quotes come back. We're ready to roll. What I asked for was we need to have
Yeah,
20th of September, 20th, 21st, whether it's just a hole or if there's a bunch of equipment sitting there and part of a hole, it doesn't matter as long as there's some progress.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, Brian, the proposal method is gonna, save us a bunch of time rather than going through the entire bidding process.
For sure. Is there anything else you guys want to see on the plans? If not really interested in all those details,
No.
structural.
no,
Do we have any landscaping as part of this, or is it just gonna be grass all the way up around?
Yeah, it's just grass. I just want to briefly just show you these vaults here. This is where your future water slide piping would go and then end. And this is where you cap off pipe and then you don't have to dig up any deck right here. So it's for winterization and then future use. Just so we covered that briefly, just so the team knows.
yeah. Well, yeah, I was thinking like Schoenfelders could donate something, I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
It's Son's.
What the hell, just tell them.
Just tell them.
We have nominated you to.
I tell him, brother.
You have the privilege of landscaping.
Exactly. I could tell Jake, he was just up in my cabin.
Well, you can see these things don't just happen. That's why it's it's been,
A lot of detail there.
yes.
Here are your three spray features. You got the bubbler, the baby long legs, and then the splash lantern. So 3 different varieties there. This is just another item I think we discussed during phase 2.
We need that.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, let's get this thing built. Let's just do it.
Let's just do it, yeah.
That was good, Jordan. Thank you for joining us. And
Yep.
got an understanding and still the same pool we approved, just way more developed now. Now we just gotta
Yep.
keep our fingers crossed on the bids.
Yeah.
Who gets the bids? Or you just put it out there and then people that, oh, they do it, okay. I was making sure it wasn't us.
Yeah.
I'm not asking anybody for the bids.
Just,
Yeah, we'll
Just-
prepare an
Do
we'll
that.
prepare an advertisement for bids and that you put in your paper. A week
Sure.
prior to.
And then,
Is it electronic opening?
We do it in person typically. Obviously we can do electronic, I think.
Well, it doesn't matter to me, I guess, but do you come down here? We open it here, open all those bids here?
Yeah, usually myself or Dwayne or another project manager would, be on site, open them, read them aloud, present or give the copy to the city, and then we would take the actual version back with us to review, and then help you through the decision. Hopefully between a good handful of bids.
You do all the work of making sure everything is
Yep,
included.
background checks.
All of it, yep, okay, good.
Do you have any materials or things for advertising that you could be shooting to our committee? Or for fundraising, that type of stuff? Yeah,
I can reach out to Shannon. She just got back in the office. See what kind of material we can assist you on fundraising again.
What are your thoughts, Jordan, about our deficit and what we need to do to get to the number? What are your thoughts?
I think you guys got a good plan set ahead of you to, start some activity out there and then see where that goes. Hopefully it'll respark some desire in the community, but yeah, just community outreach.
Likelihood we're gonna end up with an interfund loan to finish it up, but again, if any bids come back.
And once action starts, I think that'll help.
And that too, with a loan, we'll continue to fundraise even after it's open, you know, because we're still gonna be having, theoretically, if we can raise a certain amount of money each year, even after, to help with the debt service on that, then we're gonna pay it off much quicker, and it'll just be gone. It'll be done and gone, we'll have the pool there. So, and I've been buying lottery tickets, you know, that was my answer. If I can win the lottery, then I'll build.
You do that, Brian. And then we'll name the pool after you.
See, we got 49 more years until the next pool, so we better start now.
Sure.
We just can't find anybody that wants to buy them.
Yeah,
We've kind of
Is
said that.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Like if you donate
yeah.
this amount, it could be called yours.
We originally,
can't remember who else we've offered that to.
was 51%, so if you could come up with the 2.3 million, you could have it. Now we're up to like, if you just give us $800,000.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary's pool.
Mary's pool?
Yeah.
Yep.
For the small price of 1.3. No.
put a nice sign up there. with
She's
your name on it.
retired, I can't do that.
$100,000 per letter.
No, nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. No problem. Thanks, guys.
Time for
Yeah.
supper. Oh,
So have we gotten any feedback from Treasure Island?
So I'm working through their lobbyist, Grant is brother, Grant is the president now.
yeah.
Shoot, I can't remember his name, but I've been sending him emails, including Paul Peterman. And he said, yep, let me just make sure I know who to get you in front of. And then I didn't hear back again, so I need to send another email.
It is tough when you're
Blake
trying to hit
Johnson.
the people that they don't really are at like, oh yeah, let me give you money, you know? So they do ignore us quite a bit. And then you gotta be their thorn in their side. It's ugly. Yes. And that felt,
Shambles, you know, and persistence with bigger, you know, DFA and, yeah, Treasure Island, Red Wing Shoe, donate a bunch of money out at the fairgrounds. It's just those places. And then how can we convince these other bigger ones that we don't need the 501c3, we're a nonprofit, we're government. With a resolution that's
near and dear to their heart though, you know, you get those companies that they probably have family that does.
It's gonna take calling
Reuters.
somebody rather than just going on the website. You gotta call and finally get to the right person to talk to.
Right.
But it all takes time, you know. But, yeah, we won't continue to fundraise. But I think we gotta get the pool going.
Mhm.
We gotta make it happen. That's, I mean, it's not,
3,600,000
Yeah.
plus maybe some in-kind, it might be 3,800,000. You know, we might be getting close to $4 million with some of the other fundraising. You know, to not do it and incur another $426,000 of interest in a year because we didn't do it, doesn't make any sense either.
Mhm.
Everyone.
Mhm.
Well, the previous committee was deflated when we didn't build a $11 million pool with lazy
Well, we were
river.
looking at the emails. There's been a lot of people that have been involved that have
Oh,
now
yeah.
stepped away many times. So,
Yeah.
Oh, they hired Burbach in 19, or not tonight. Yeah, 2019.
But just think.
Started
how much
talking about it in
if we wanted to
2018,
build
something
that
like that.
$11 million pool Now, how much it would cost?
exactly.
That's what I was just gonna say.
22
I
million.
don't want to depress any of us, but I'd like to take our $4.6 million and go back to the 2018 or 19 budgetary thing and look what we would have bought if we would have just said, hey, this one looks good, let's go right
yeah,
now.
well, you probably
Yeah.
know with Plainview.
We could have had the Chatfield pool built here already.
Right, because
Now
that's
we're
what,
just getting a fraction.
Yeah. I
That's
remember
what Burbach-
Pool too.
because Dodge Center's
And then
was
when you get somebody like
previous to
Candace or whatever
2020,
that's donating
all of their estimates that they were giving us, right?
Yeah.
So the longer
Yeah.
we wait, the smaller the pool gets.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's, if we wait some more,
yeah.
you know, and that's the other option too. There's value
And it's
engineering that can be done to whittle away that deficit too, which would be
The things is just crazy.
not having
Yeah. And
the
it's
slide,
not
which
gonna
would
get better.
be, even taking that vault out doesn't save much money. So
Right.
At some point, we just have to have faith and get it done.
Good bids, I think they're gonna be.
Yeah, that's why I hope they definitely try to
Still got
get
your-
local bids because I
Still got your specialized stuff.
You want to keep your money
Has
in
to be done,
town.
you know.
I know, I didn't want to like jaw drop, but like I just can't get over those lights, like $100,000 for lights. That's
Really?
insane.
yeah,
Yeah,
a
well,
lot of those
But, like,
things are
let's
already
just
offered
talk-
out there.
I don't
so.
know. And they're
Well,
not included in the bid. They're not included in our donations yet, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta
So-
get,
So if we knew that, we could say, hey, look at this, we have people that are willing to give us a roof and to give us the gutters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we should
that's a
put that in
huge
the
thing.
article
When
that we're
people
gonna
see
put
that
out.
people are, companies are willing to do that, then maybe they would open up their purses a little bit. you know?
Yeah, because those are huge budget items
Those
that
are
are going to
huge
come
gifts.
off of our $4
Yep.
million pool.
You gotta get that out there so people know that.
Shorter, how much we're short out there.
Mhm.
That's, because people need to know that too, because I think there's more money out there and people are just kind of waiting. I haven't donated yet, other than all the stuff I bought along the
So-
way for these type of things, you know?
So who is responsible then for getting,
Well, no, it's,
right, who is responsible then for putting all of this information together concisely and getting it to the newspaper and getting it out there?
me.
And,
and
yeah,
you've done, I mean, both
Well, we did.
him and Bretta have been on the news
News.
recently,
Mhm.
and, I mean, we go on social media often, and
At our last work session, council directed me to put something in the paper. I can't really put anything in there about an intra-fund loan because we don't know. We don't know how much it would be. We don't know what impact it would be. But we can put out there that we're $1 million short, give or take.
And this is what
And-
we're doing, and this is what we need
Yep.
from the people.
Yep, this is where we're at.
is it really $1 million, or I thought we were closer than that? Because I feel like if it's a little bit,
That we're hoping, $200,000 to $300,000 is what Burbach said for in-kind, once we have the bidding. You know, so if it's 200, then we're at 800,000 short. If
I
it's
just feel like we
300,
have to choose our words very, like, when I hear we're $1 million, I think that's not
doable.
feasible.
Yeah,
So I feel like if we go, hey, we are $500,000 short, people go, I mean, I'm just figuratively speaking, like, then it's like, oh, okay, we could,
in there than just saying that, you know, right now we're, yeah, I don't know how to, I don't want to tell them something that's not true either, but
agreed. I just, when I saw the news and said we're $1 million short, I immediately called Troy and went, we're $1 million short? I thought we were more than that. I thought we were at, I mean, I even thought we were more than that.
to have another 100,000 in the pool, or you guys might, if we can tighten that up and what we need for the operating, because Kim's pretty conservative, which I appreciate. But if I go back and say, you know, let's tighten that up and see how much more, you know, so if we get lucky and we get 300,000 in kind and we have another 100, that's 400, then we're to 600,000. But I don't know. And then that's a smaller loan.
Does the city ever pay for part of it? Like, city itself, you know, like when we need a new library or city hall, who pays for those things? Or is it all funded? It's all, that's all funded, okay.
The city itself doesn't pay for anything. It's your taxpayer dollars.
Right, well,
That's the
that's,
only way we have money, unless we go get grants or, and $200,000 of theoretical city dollars already went into this. We're the biggest donor so far.
So it's not like they have a savings account.
funds, right. I just wasn't sure how it worked, like, you know, like you said, Pine Island did theirs and they didn't bond for it, correct? I was trying to understand
And they
that.
didn't bond for theirs? No, they did.
They did bond, but they didn't have, it wasn't as difficult for them because they allocate the money for, like, our roads are paid for by our city taxes, right?
Well, yeah, our fees.
Property tax.
And
Well,
our-
fees.
You know, our taxes. And
We have an
so
infrastructure.
a lot of the money that we're giving the city in our taxes are being earmarked for set projects that have to be done. If you go down and live in Pine Island, if the road gets done in front of your house, you're gonna get an assessment for that along with the taxes that you're paying.
But it's a certain percentage.
Yeah.
The city's still paying for most of it.
So
And it's a decreasing percentage now because it's harder and harder to prove.
our taxes are paying a higher flow of money into the city for them to have to play with and do things with. It was what the point is.
Well, yeah, and Pine Island bonded, I don't know how much of theirs they bonded for, if it was the whole thing, but they got themselves into trouble because they put a nice elaborate picture out there with everything on it. And then they didn't put the slide in, they didn't put anything in, a lot of that stuff, and people were mad. But again, they told them this is not included and for this amount. So that's why we were very careful. All you saw on that picture was whatever we were gonna do.
It's better to show less and give more.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Pine Island's spending 600,000, 500 to 600,000 on that slide.
5 for sure, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was over 5 because Todd said that, because I said that to Todd one day and he said, oh, I wish it was 5. So I think it went over 500,000 for that slide they're putting in now. But yeah, each community's finances are a little bit different. You know, ours are changing because we're going to a tiered bonding model of getting roads done. We're gonna be able to do more roads. We're combining 2 projects, I think it's 2, wasn't it?
Yep.
Into 1 year here by doing bonding rather than the old cash model where you had to wait and encumber all that cash. So we'll get roads done quicker, and the tiered bonding model theoretically will free up dollars as well. Smart debt is okay for an entity that's not gonna retire. No debt is good for us. We won't retire. And then you have 500,000 to put towards the pool once you retire. No.
As much as I'd like to, I have to say no to that.
Yeah, I know. I know. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people kind of just like me too, kind of waiting a little bit to put the dollars in there because I know, what do you need? How much do you need? How big do I
I
need to
hear
go?
that all the time, like I'm waiting to see things happen before I give and like,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting.
Nobody has any trust right now.
Yeah,
I'll talk
Yes,
to
I
them
think
about
that'll
that
all-
big sign too.
Just
We'll
the-
put up just a piece of plywood posts and then a big laminated sign showing
down, yeah.
the future pool,
Mhm.
you know, in all its glory with the canopies and everything,
Right.
just to get people excited.
I think once they see that, they'll get more excited about it again and start doing it.
We'll do a sales tax as well for that stuff. That's how a lot of communities build their pool. They do a sales tax, you know, we don't necessarily want to go that way, but
We don't want to do that to our businesses.
we got such a good.
They were gonna
business
do
plan.
like a match thing, but they never did.
I know, I really think if we can get on a roundup somewhere, it would be good. I'm sad that like Nielsen's wouldn't do that. I think that'd be good.
I talked to Nick today and I didn't get a chance to ask him about that.
I just think if they would round up, we could get a lot of money that way.
They said, they've told me too, that they wanted to do something like a,
Well, they
yeah,
gave 5,000. Was it 5,000? Nielsen, yeah,
did they?
Nielsen's, yep. They pledged 5,000.
Okay.
They're on the
So
list.
even if they would,
But yeah, if we do that
just put
roundup.
like a jar out.
Well, I know that was, we talked about that too, but maybe we can get.
You want to round up for,
Can Dairy Queen do it? Can McDonald's? Yeah, who, did anybody talk to McDonald's?
I know,
Or does that need to be a
is
501?
that
Yeah.
for the
round up
McDonald's house?
already.
yeah, for Ronald McDonald House.
The local Ronald.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Money. Towards the pool, couldn't they? I wonder, did anybody talk to them?
Who?
McDonald's.
Just Mayo Clinic.
Somebody must.
Yeah, they donated and so did Olmsted, but it's like $1,000.
Olmsted gave 1,000. Mayo gave 500.
500.
Olmsted maybe gave 1,500 and Mayo gave 1,000. Olmsted isn't even in town and they gave more than Mayo. So Paul went back to them too and said, you know, this is, yeah, I hated to even put it out there. But
Again, when you're just like this little committee reaching out, you know,
they are,
they are ones that like,
the regional, they are regional, they're relooking at their benevolent giving and how it's done. So we could stand, be kind of like a quick trip. We could
Well, it was
stand to
just
see
like-
some more from them.
It was just like the Sam's Clubs, the Walmart, Costco, Target, Shields, they're all like, if you're looking for donations for gift cards or this kind of thing, here we go. But if you want big money, you have to go through these channels, and then they all kind of require that.
Well, maybe we should get a bunch of gift cards, and raffle them off. It's a fundraiser for the pool.
Yeah, I thought about,
If they'll give us a bunch of gift cards,
I mean, that's another fundraising idea. We're gonna have to do another big thing that's gonna, even if it raises $20,000.
So it just changed some of their gambling laws.
I was just thinking of that, because I thought about doing some kind of a race, like a duck race, and you could win like a family pass, but
Because you know how we used to be able to put baskets together with raffle tickets?
oh, sure.
Or not raffle tickets, but lottery tickets. You can't do that anymore. The state has said no more.
Oh.
Because they feel that they're missing out on the tax. Well, somebody bought it and taxed it already.
well,
They're saying you can't do that. If you get caught with it, you're gonna get in trouble now.
But, yeah,
So.
At this point, I think it'd just be easier if one of us volunteered to rob a bank. You'll be out before the pool's constructed anyway, so.
this is being recorded, so that's a
this
joke.
is, yeah.
That was a joke. That is not
Nikki volunteered.
Yeah. Don't put that in the minutes, Miranda. Oh, you guys did die over there.
I do know a good lawyer.
But I think with a lot of these, like Costco and all of them, you gotta talk to somebody rather than going through the website.
Right.
But
Yeah.
how do you get to somebody?
And Walmart both, myself, and talk to managers.
She's right. The big ones, you have to follow their process, and their process
just give you a
all
number.
goes through a 501c3 because they got a lawyer saying, nope, this is the only way you're going to donate your money because these are the channels. So
She ran into a 501c3 thing too. She was gonna use that, the resolution saying that we're gonna accept donations for this purpose. And we're
What's the
government.
resolution say?
We're gonna accept donations for the pool, basically.
From the city.
And that's what
city
you have to
resolution.
do. We had a
Oh.
very good guidance from our city attorney at the time.
That's how
That we needed to do that resolution, so.
I mean, that's how you were able to collect money for the memorial out there
Yes.
with the
The
resolution.
memorial was the same thing, same resolution.
Yeah.
Just for the memorial, but we have to get out there. And that's why I have to put everybody's name on there and how much they donated, which rubbed Fred the wrong way. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have to.
Yeah.
It's the law.
Yep.
I was in there for that memorial, I was in there for $25 and I bought a patch. I'm like, well, that looks pretty cheap. But had to be in there.
All right, well, we should move on here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
right.
Appreciate the
Thanks for coming.
update.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you for all your work.
pickleball court update.
Can we afford to turn the lights on?
Yes. I don't think we've ever had a meeting go long enough to turn the lights on.
Oh, you were here with Fred, weren't you? It was dark when we got out here, right?
Pickleball, who's got the pickleball?
I don't know if anybody does. We were just, last meeting, we got estimates. Oh, I think it was last time. Yep. Do you remember exactly what the costs were of that stuff?
Bear project was about 150,000, I believe.
That's to paint it and to put the boards on it, like.
We're done a little bit on that, but it was roughly close to that. Plus the painting. Right.
Again, I don't know if they get a grant for that. They got a grant for a playground. They're on the playground that they're redoing, but. That might have to be maybe that goes on the future capital planning list. Maybe you should finish the other things that, Frisbee golf and bathhouse.
I'd rather get those two
Campground.
things done.
And just kind of hold off on, make sure that's, because I'd love to see that. We just ordered some pickleball paddles. We haven't played yet, but
You know,
my daughter said that's, a lot of elderly people do that, so she thought we could do that.
after that stuff's done, I think that has to be a huge priority of this board to get those pickleball courts done. I think it will add a ton to the park and bring in people, have people just walking down there to play. I mean, they use it now and it's in rough shape. So it's, I think I said this before, but, in Pine Island, it's busy constantly and it's used and it's, I think if we did that for that double use, it would be huge. But I do understand that we need to finish what we started first, absolutely. But I think we can't let this fall by the wayside. If we got to do it in stages, then so be it. But I think we need to get that done. It's a golden opportunity. It took us so long just to get that slab down there. And now to get that, to do it to completion, I think is real important.
Well, yeah, if you're looking at boards too, that's good for the hockey as well.
Correct.
It is in the floodplain, but my understanding, so is Pine Islands.
You just have to have the things that open.
Removable on each end, yeah.
Correct.
Yep. Where I was always told, no way, we can't put anything down there.
Right. That'd make it a lot easier for the transition over into the winter too. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have to get the stuff out, it'd be all there and.
Get the fire department to help us fundraise. So
I was
they don't
just
have to
gonna
put the boards
say-
up anymore.
I was just gonna
Right.
say,
Appreciate them doing it all day.
I wonder if they would donate some money for permanent boards.
They could do some fundraising.
Well, yeah, they don't have money to donate per se, but they can help fundraise, yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I think that is a good priority. Then you have the opposite, no, problem you have then is it's people, that's territorial. Then you get people that, no, we're using it from this time to this time, and
Right.
that's what Pine Island deals with. They get clubs in there and they want to take over, and they're like, no, it's gotta be open.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
You've got the
exactly.
facility to.
And we start, just like we have here with the ball field, you have a Google Calendar where you sign up and
Yeah.
self-manage it and try and do that. But if no more discussion on the pickleball course, we can move on to ball field dugouts. Just need the last little fencing to wrap up the back end of those. Otherwise, they were very well received by the youth that used them all summer. Now their league is over, the women's softball league is over, so we have a very, very small window of opportunity here for the volunteers who are still interested in that facility to get going before school starts back up again, before summer vacations wrap up, to try and wrap up that volunteer labor. So need to get that material that was approved a couple months ago
Yeah.
finalized, purchased, and out there and get that going. So I'm working with the 2 coaches that have the volunteer staff
Awesome.
and trying to.
Yeah, I didn't know, did you get a parts list or anything?
I never got a parts list. I got pictures. I never got into Menards to say, hey, this is where the final thing ended up, but I never got a final parts list. Because ideally, when it was originally drafted up, hopefully the piping and all the stuff that was there would work. And now that the posts are on the outside, now we're going out further with the fence. And so we're trying to incorporate the fence as part of the wooden and trying to fabricate it together versus it used to be separate.
Maybe some pictures and links will be enough to get a quote.
Right. So
So
I
do
just,
you have time to do that, or is that something that you could do for us?
Well, it's.
Between the-
But you guys are
between the
gonna
two.
try and self-perform it at this point, is it?
Yeah, we're-
With your volunteer labor yet?
right. Or if,
Or just get the quotes.
or if we can just get the materials and figure out how it's gonna get laid out between the 2 of us, we should be able to figure out how it goes. It shouldn't be more than a weekend project to knock that out. It's not,
Because we'll get that
it's
done
not
as
big.
well.
Yes, absolutely. There's
Okay.
no reason that shouldn't get finalized.
Yeah, whether it be, Menards, or if that's not feasible, I know Billy Cruzmer could probably down in Zeppa could get us the,
Yep.
if we need big longer lengths, or something like that.
Yep,
that doesn't-
correct. Yep.
Outside of that realm, but, yep.
Mm,
No, I don't think so.
So it'd be nice to get that done, get the frisbee thing done.
Cross some items off our list.
This list, and
Correct.
then next year,
2026, start working on the pickleball.
Well, I do want to do capital planning with maybe a couple of individuals off the park board. That's
Okay.
been a goal of mine. Now that I've got Miles here, I've got a little bit, hopefully I have a little bit more time coming up.
Okay.
But yeah, just a whole, just like that. Well, it'll take the whole park board to put together the list. Maybe we've got the list or most of it, but we want to take a 10-year look at, hey, what would be good
That
to
would
do
be
in the next
ideal.
10 years?
Right.
Yes.
Because a lot of times for these bigger grants, they're looking for that too. And they're looking for what you've done. So we would include a couple of those things, like the campground.
Yeah.
If we go apply for another grant for something bigger, and say, these are our goals, we've already done this with our money.
Bathhouse, yeah.
We need help with whatever the pickleball. Maybe get a grant for that. But yeah, the capital planning we need to do that. And I think we can just sit down and hammer through that, get a process. Just haven't gotten it started yet. But yeah, going into the next year, that's a good goal to have too.
We should talk to Active PT and see if they would give us some money for the pickleball, because then the injuries from there will fund them.
Update on the Frisbee golf. We are looking into applying for a grant for some additional funds to help the shortage where we are at, to try and get the tee boxes. So we're going to work with some local contractors to see if they can produce some concrete tee pads for teeing off, along with purchasing some signage for around the baskets to say what hole it is, some additional signage to go on top of the baskets to say where the next tee box is located, and then redoing the map of the course out there, along with, we usually have a sign at the beginning of each tee box that says, this is the course, this is the layout, just like you would at a normal golf course or anything. But that's been the number one complaint over the last summer and a half, is like, hey, you got these nice new baskets out there, but if you don't have the UDisc app, you don't know where you're starting from, you don't know where the next one's going to, so you're flying blind. Yep, so the serious golfers are still using it. The amateur guys are just kind of all fumbling around and not enjoying it as much as they could. It's very much like our pickleball.
Yep.
It's like 70-80% of the way there, and then we just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So we just need to have that tenacity to finalize it, finish it all the way through.
It's a $10,000 small cities grant, I believe, is what it is. So $2,500 match. We might not even need the whole 10,000. I don't know. But yeah, Kurt, Dr. Troy, I was glad you answered this call. I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
See this number.
I saw City Hall and I figured it might have something to do with the meeting tonight, so I called me on the city number, so.
We could be able to target a $2,500 match. All you have to do is go on and ask somebody.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
But get the numbers together first. Let's do the tee boxes right rather than smaller or,
Yeah, only do them once. Yep.
Exactly.
Get it all done right, because it'll be used a lot, especially if we get the sign there, and then we can leave space. I told him to contact this PNK to talk about the sign as well, as he was gonna call Shad, Tracy, or to Orinoco too, to ask them about a sign, what it would cost. But we could leave space on there for future sponsorship, and then the rings, as my understanding.
Right.
You can put a sponsorship on there at some point as well too, if the park board would want to say, hey, if anybody wants to sponsor this, then.
So like the UDisc site and all that stuff, we had that before when we had that local volunteer come in and help us that shows us all that stuff. There is opportunity there to buy signage and do all that type of stuff that we could get done. And I still believe that sponsorship for 18 different holes and the baskets and all that stuff, there's ample opportunity to fundraise and improve and maybe even make it an annual thing. I would definitely make it an annual thing to keep that money flowing in. Because I think much like when we did the banner thing 6 years ago out there, people start fighting for the prime spot. Like, ooh, I want that basket that's right up near the park road. That's where I want my business name on that one, versus the one that's way back in the corner. Maybe they don't want, maybe that's a $50 sponsorship, but the one that's right near the park entrance, that's, if you want hole number 1, that's $200,
That's awesome.
Yep, so definitely opportunity. We already did the budget. No new business. Reports have already been done, so or do you have reports?
We do have this campground. That is,
Yeah, it should be. Should be that.
That's okay.
Jeff and Kim put together all the numbers.
That's where we're at today.
Yep, I'm just, and at 8,500, that was approved last time for the, I don't know if you've been out there, we re-rocked the road, put a new culvert in and did some reshaping and took the grass island out of the back in the cul-de-sac and turned it all into rock for
Nice.
turnaround. We will be working on, which I think has to be done by the state or whatever. We will be working on that emergency exit here before the festival up into the pool parking
Pool
lot.
parking lot.
Yep.
That's all.
So
Awesome.
I think it's on the other side of Donnie's is where it's going. It can be anywhere. We were trying to avoid young trees as much as possible up there without having to. Yeah, I can look at that avenue. The only thing we run into is that deep ditch. Once we cross the trail there, we're back by the pool. It kind of mellows out. We were kind of trying to get to that there's a little corner bulb in that at the pool parking lot. That was kind of where we were going to knock the curb out and make a drive over down there.
I mean, the reality is they don't get used during Cover Bridge Festival because that's the way vendors will bring their vehicles in, not their trailers. They'll be in place, but then they bring vehicles in. Then they leave for the night and then come back with more stuff to put in. So they'll come through that way. They did that last year as well. But other than that, it'll never be used unless there's a flood, really.
Right.
And we got to pull people out quick.
Yep.
So.
I think they were talking, and I don't know if that was something that was said, but they're talking, it'll be gated at the top. Yep, or closed off, so that.
Sure,
people
that'll
aren't
help
cruising
with the
through.
phone calls from the residents if that was closed
Oh, yeah.
off. So you don't have people in the neighborhood going, hey, why do I have so-and-so cutting through here all the time?
We got a lot of golf carts coming through down there.
Right.
So yes, okay, yeah, we're.
And potentially, yeah, if we can re-look at the route, but then if, where we kind of picked it out there with the street crew or whatever, will be one pine tree, mature pine tree that has to come down and a stump that was ash tree removal that's still there. So that would have to come out, but.
It's gonna be less intrusive than the other side. Always gonna use it, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Good, I think we're still well under budget.
Yeah,
So.
that's good stuff.
Well, if no further discussion, as I like to say, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Good stuff. Everyone. Thanks.
Thank you for getting all those folks here.
Oh, yeah, I thought Troy was. Both